It's finally upon us. The ending. At last. Welcome back, everybody, to Metroid Other M. In case you're still not aware, I hate this fucking game. And, ironically, the most tolerable part of this game is after the events of the main story are over with. I'm dead serious, because you are able to go around this bottle ship, do whatever the hell you want. Every single pickup is highlighted. Like, you don't even have to finish off a room anymore, clear a room of its enemies. Every single one is highlighted, whether you've seen it or not, whether you've cleared a room of enemies or not. And this is really the part of the game where you have the freedom of exploration that is trademark in Metroid. After this fucking game is over. Very telling. And just the ability to do whatever the hell you want. People still continue to this day to tell me that this game's gameplay is just so absolutely fucking outstanding. I don't agree, but I will give it its due. There are sequences, there are flashes of a good game. And, no truer is that apparent when I am sitting here going through some of these sections. And some of these shafts that you use to progress, and you're going to see it a couple of times in this video, are perfectly built to get across with a shine spark, or to go all the way up with a shine spark. And there was some, attention to detail like that in designing the levels. It's just such a shame that your freedom of exploration happens after the game is over. The game will lock doors behind you. Like, even after Adam bites the dust, it still locks doors behind you. Your exploration is still limited to, long linear corridors. And, as I said, I'm not going to be going on screen and showing off the item collection in this game. But it's actually one of the best parts of the game. The only reason I'm not going to show it off is because, as you guys well know, I lost the footage of myself recording this final episode once before. I'm trying to record this on this piece of shit laptop. Here's hoping that it works. But, I'll pick up that 5th Excel charge. But, like I said, I'm not going to go out of my way to do item collection, because I have a file saved up right next to the real, for real this time, final boss. And, yeah, it's something else. You see that? This right here would have been a perfect little thing to pop up to tell you that power bombs are available in case you forgot to use it. So, I don't know, like, you expect the player to intuitively realize when you're in the Metroid Queen's stomach to use power bombs, but you've only used them once, and it was way the fuck back in the tutorial. So how you're supposed to know beyond just trial and fucking error, I don't know. But anyways, now that we have the power bombs, you'll notice right here that this elevator, which coincidentally leads us to the yellow diamond, that's the area where Adam was. Wait a minute, game. So the something irreplaceable is something in Adam's office, or his quarters throughout this game. But the elevator is out of commission. For some strange reason, nobody knows why. But we have alternative means of transportation, or travel, now that we have the power bombs. But unfortunately, these areas that have power bombs to progress, it looks like Bendezium or something like that. As you can see, it's actually an enemy in disguise. These are the Dysbrachians. These are the things that MB summoned in the final quote-unquote battle, I guess you could say. They do a very significant amount of damage, as a matter of fact. But, again, Sense Move makes them pretty trivial. The Plasma Beam, I find, is enough, although if you find yourself, far enough away to the point where damage is not an issue, then you can super missile them. You see, just being able to go around, Shine Spark, do whatever the hell you want. this is an abandoned space station. This is what the game should have been, like, all along. But again, as games try to be movies, you know, the plot takes away your freedom. And if the game were just this, I would find it tolerable. And I went in a giant fucking circle. Silly me. Tricks are for kids. But if the game were just this, I would find the repetition of the combat a little troubling, but I would tolerate it. As it is, the plot, the presentation, and all that shit, it really mars the game. But anyways, as you can see, we are going down a section that we have never been to before. All these areas blocked off by the Dysbrachians. And there's I got like half a dozen of these guys throughout the space station, but this elevator takes us somewhere special. Where indeed does it take us? We are in Sector 2. Not only are we in Sector 2, but we have another Dysbrachian to deal with. Now, I'm just going to show you guys, Screw Attack does not work on these guys at all. Seriously, they will go airborne if you are doing the Screw Attack, and they will Falcon Punch your ass right out of the sky. It's awesome. Now, because these are post-game enemies, I can forgive the Screw Attack for not killing them. But, like I say, the Screw Attack has always been an endgame item. Whatever. We'll talk about the neutering of the Screw Attack some other time. But yeah, these guys take significant amounts of damage, and they do significant amounts of damage. You can see, like, I'm down to 4 energy tanks. Did a number on my ass. But, as you can see, the elevator from the main sector took us down to Sector Zero's remains. People are like, well, this is how Adam got this far. Well, did Adam have power bombs? Because those Dysbrachians were there from the start to finish of the game. So the only solution is that Adam either had power bombs to wake up the Dysbrachians who were sleeping, or he managed to take his run-of-the-mill Galactic Federation suit through this gravity-infested area. I mean, somebody explain to me how Adam got here. Is Adam's suit able to take the abuse that Samus's does? Because even after the death of Nightmare, or the dismantling of Nightmare, we're in this gravity-infested area, and it's not good, not at all. But like I said, little things like this, being able to speed up your game by shine sparking in just the right places. I wish I could do this more often. I really do. And this is the area that I find you get the most use out of the speed booster and the shine spark and all that shit. And I have to say, again, the lack of the control stick and just using the Wiimote's D-pad, not a good choice. And I know for a fact that nobody tested this game, because if they had, holding... If you haven't experienced the Wiimote's D-pad before, holding down a button on this pad for an extended length of time, it really digs into your thumb. It is not a very well-made D-pad, in my opinion. It's very uncomfortable. But you gotta hold in one direction the whole time if you're doing a speed boost, and it's not good. But this right here, look! Shine Spark all the way to the top of the shaft. It's just the right height. There is some ingenious level design in here, but it's only flashes throughout this game. I want to like it. I want to find other good things about it to justify my $50 purchase. But this is the very definition of buyer's remorse that I can't help but feel. The people who ignore the other 80% of the game. The gameplay, it may be the most important facet of the game, but it's only I think about 20% of the importance to the game. The presentation, soundtrack, story, characters, all that stuff is important to getting you into a game. And I can't help but feel Other M just falls flat on its face. This is me talking. I'm not hamming it up. I'm not, increasing my volume at all. And those of you who may have decoded the interview that I did with Sakamoto, we'll use that in air quotes. If any of you have Audacity, try and go in through your stereo mix, record what I said, and reverse it, and you'll get my real thoughts on the game. But again, right here, Shine Spark, right across. Perfect length to make it across that horizontal section. The level design is not all bad. It sucks that it's mostly long linear corridors, but when you transition the map from Super Metroid into 3D, that's kind of what you're stuck with. Which is why the Prime games did so well, because there were a lot of wide open areas in addition to hallways. But anyways, we are basically taking the backwards way. Because the elevator was out of commission, we're taking the backwards way. Not much to say about that, but back into the main sector. And that's what I kind of like about this post-game section, and I wish that other places in the game utilized it. The main sector connects to Sector 2 and goes right next to Sector 0. If there were other interconnected areas that made the space station feel more like one interconnected place, like it should feel. It feels like a whole bunch of isolated areas, and we have our third and final mandatory Dysbrachian. And you notice they got their own little okay enemy theme, I guess. Alright. Oh, holy shit, you skewered me. Holy shit, you skewered me again. But as usual, sense move. The only reason I got hit with that is because I'm trying to do a way of fighting other than sense move, but there's only one real way to succeed in this game, and it is sense move. Sense move to win. Dysbrachians, as strong as they are rendered your bitch just like everything else. And that's it. You'll also notice that this elevator is out of commission, so we cannot take that route up to Adam's office. We have to take a very backwards way. And that backwards way goes through some very interesting territory. I'll just leave it at that. Another elevator, but it just takes you to a higher part of the main sector. Again, guys, this game, it's no E.T., it's no Superman 64, it's playable. But I had no expectations for E.T., probably due to the fact that I wasn't alive at the time. I had no expectations for Superman 64. And when you overhype a game the way you do Other M, and you basically rely on nostalgia to sell the game for you, like the trailers did, there's no question that they relied on nostalgia to sell this fucking game. You create a benchmark that you cannot match. And gameplay-wise, I mean, it's an okay action game. But if you want a better action game that makes use of, slightly repetitive mechanics, but due to the way they're presented, it stays fun from start to finish, Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. That's a game that took its series into a different direction. An action approach. It put the action in tactical espionage action, and, it's a hack and slash, but it's very ingenious approach. This, like I said, when lethal strikes and overblasts account for more success in combat than the tried and true, beam and missiles. Super missiles, admittedly, do quite a bit of damage, but it's so late in the game that you get them that it almost doesn't matter. And again, being in first-person mode, you can't move unless you're sense moving. There's a lot of okay ideas in this game, but when you put it all together, it just doesn't work. But I'm done harping. It's time to go through the gauntlet. Let it begin. Our way through the real final boss is blocked by a gauntlet of all of the pain-in-the-ass enemies that we have had to deal with. Pretty much any enemy that's ever functioned as a locked door mini-boss is in this gauntlet. We can use seeker missiles. I don't prefer that approach, but hey, holy shit, we've got the chameleon with the ridiculous tongue, too. Too bad he's no stronger. But you've got these mighty Gripgians, they're a pain in the ass. And somewhere around here is the chameleon again. And again, like, I would have had to sit there using the beam over and over to kill that mighty Gripgian, but because I was next to it and was in a position to lethal strike it after the missile basically staggered it, I'm able to one-shot it with lethal strike. And these enemies, again, I shine sparked through you. It did nothing. My eyes, the goggles do nothing. The shine spark does nothing. Why does the shine spark do nothing? The speed booster and the shine spark have always kicked ass and taken names. Alrighty, we've got the Zebesians. I refuse to call them Zebesians. They're fucking space pirates. They aren't native to Zebes, they conquered it. But anyways, this gauntlet, as I said, every pain in the ass enemy, you got these ultimate warrior super pirates. I don't care what they're actually called. Every time I look at them with their super electro move, I can't help but think, oh, I'm gonna get you, Hulk Hogan! Oh, the little warriors down there, I'm gonna kick your ass, Hulk Hogan, except when you screw attack me! Yeah, okay, warrior. But yeah, screw attack makes a couple of these enemies just completely joke. Alrighty, we've got Super Key Hunters. And did the Shine Spark actually kill them, or yeah, it looks like it did. So the Shine Spark can kill the trash enemies. And don't waste your time, just screw attack these guys. Super Zebesians, again, super space pirates. Gold jacket, green jacket, who gives a shit? But we have one final roadblock in our way. Right next to it, it's the Radogian! I like this. I really like this. It's like all of these enemies are coming back from the dead. Something otherworldly is bringing them back to cause mucho problemo. But, got some super missiles. He didn't stay in lethal strike mode long enough to be able to scrunch. There. Oh, come on. Stay in lethal strike animation. But we have not one Radogian, but a second one. I remind you that it took Samus 4 fights to kill this thing the first time, and now she's just kicking its ass. You like your Seeker Missile? I like my Super Missile, bitch. Let's just do Super Missile spam. Fuck this game and its lethal strike overblast shit. But again, it's like something's bringing these things back from beyond the grave, something otherworldly, and I like this. It's a good build-up to... And stop trying to lethal strike or overblast Samus. It's kind of annoying. Alrighty. 2 Radogians, a shitload of mighty Griptians, a shitload of cyber and super space pirates. We got the chameleon enemies and all that shit. And this is where I will leave off. Not for a next part, but just to go to the file where I have 100% because I want to be fully loaded. Alrighty, this is it. 80 missiles, a shitload of energy tanks, got 6 Excel charges, and another thing that I really like about this ending area, or this ending sequence, is that all of the sectors have little checklists for you to follow. 100%, 100%, 100%, and as you can see, item collection, all 100%, status, 6 Excel charges, 16 goddamn energy parts. I am fully loaded, ready to go, and take a look at this. This is ridiculous. 6 Excel charges. That has to be like half a second, if that, to charge up a beam, and that's something else. Whatever. I am entertained, but are you guys ready? Because here he is. The man of the hour. The House of Power. Why the fuck are you in this game? Phantoon. This is probably the biggest WTF moment in this game. I understand that Phantoon is supposed to be some kind of a ghostly figure, but I don't get it. Phantoon shares the okay final boss theme with the Metroid Queen, so that's why I decided to change the Metroid Queen and keep Phantoon with the default music. Phantoon is a fight that is the very definition of sense move to win. He is going to spam the ever-loving shit out of his ghostly fireballs. You know those things that were kind of annoying to avoid in Super Metroid? Well, this is required for you to have the fucking sense move. But Phantoon, I need it explained to me, really, why Phantoon is in this game beyond just nostalgia. Again, it's relying on nostalgia to sell the game, except by this point, Phantoon is, you know, kind of a well-kept secret to anybody who actually put this game down a long time ago and didn't give a shit about the story. I don't know. It's cool. Yeah, it's... But, you know, I've always thought that Kraid has been shafted for too long as far as getting a 3D fight in a Metroid game. He hasn't been represented in any of the 3D Metroid games. And I always thought that he was the second most important of Mother Brain's minions. Yeah, it's whatever. Doesn't mean too much, but regardless, Phantoon is all about the sense move. He's all about the super missiles. Do a shitload of damage to him at one time. It's like, oh, well, you know, people, Slow Beef and Diabetes gave Phantoon, no, not Phantoon, gave Ridley the Ridley voice, and then they went on to say that if they were to give a voice to Kraid, it might be like Oglethorpe from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. You're like, no, impossible! The monster can only be killed by the ancient bone saber of Zubakares. What would Phantoon's voice be? Would he be Emery? Like, hello, dude. What's up? Answer in the comments below. Like, what comedic voice would your ass give Phantoon? I'm curious. I don't know. But Phantoon, he's got these, like, ghostly Floormaster looking hands that just kind of function as a distraction more than anything. And it's cool. And now they seem to be respawning endlessly, so I'm just gonna go nuts. Go nuts with Seekers. And you can lethal strike their asses when they're writhing on the ground. It's a cool looking boss fight. In fact, I would dare say, like many of the things in this game, it's probably better to watch than it is to play. But that being said, Phantoon, like everything else in this game, is pretty fucking easy. Sense move makes it a fucking joke. And for whatever reason, he's not choosing to go into his mode where I can lethal strike him. Odd. It's whatever, though. Who cares? You don't need to lethal strike it. Let's just do it the game's way. And blow his motherfucking eye off! BAM! Dude, you might want to stop slamming your eye into the fucking floor. That's why it exploded in a big, massive pus. Take that, you fuck! And with that, I can finally say that this monkey is off my back. You know, I've mentioned this before, that a lot of people seem to be of the notion of don't play this game if you don't like it. Why are you playing it for, Aslan? Well, number one, people ask me over and over and over, and I have a lot to say about it, and I've said a lot about it. Now, whether people agree or not with what I've said, regardless, it's been almost therapy for me to go through this game and just finally air my grievances. Because, again, I don't want another Metroid game to be like this. I don't. There are some elements that I think they could take away from it, but overall, if this is the future of the Metroid series, holy shit, those power bombs. Look at that shit. Fucking metal is just molten right now. That's awesome, but whatever. 80 missiles. 9 energy tanks. Technically 10 if you count the one that she doesn't, like, that she has by default. And now, one final pointless over-the-shoulder segment meant to pad this game out by another 10 seconds. It's time to finally see that precious item. That irreplaceable item. Wait, what? His helmet? His Platoon 7 helmet that you could have just asked Anthony for if you wanted a memento of it. Anthony has one of those. You could have asked him for his. Just saying. But no, it had to be Adam's.
Madeline, thanks for telling me all this. I've got to destroy the Metroids and MB in Sector 0. You have to remain hidden.
No! Samus!
Wait.
Don't worry. The Galactic Federation CO is here now.
So he knew that she was MB the whole time, and he said, Madeline Bergman is no ally. Why the fuck didn't you just say, that girl that you were talking to, that's MB, the killer android? Yeah, get the sappy music over with. Oh, sorry, you're gonna have to grieve some other time, Sammy. Wait. Wait a minute, she's in Zero Suit? Why is she in Zero Suit? Why is she running in those large, like, 10-inch fuck-me heels? Like, that's gotta be murder. Running like that. I don't know, guys. I know that it's a tradition that kind of started in Super Metroid to have the Ridley theme sort of be the theme that kind of goes along with escape sequences. I've always preferred the original escape sequence song. Super Metroid is my favorite game ever made, but I've always preferred the original escape sequence song from the original Metroid, and they used it again in Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. I don't know. Whatever. I guess this game just wanted an excuse to go into Zero Suit mode for extra drama. It sure as fuck isn't for efficiency, because you have a speed booster you could use in your power suit, Samus. Are you just not able to concentrate with the the siren blaring? I don't know. I don't know the reason for it. They give you, as usual, entirely too much time to get back. 5 minutes is way too overkill. And by using the nifty morph ball button, we can now slide. Yeah. I don't get it either. Regardless, it's okay. I really haven't got too much left to rag on the game, because, like I said, the post-credits sequence is probably the most tolerable part of the game, ironically, after the game is technically over and done with. Whatever.
3 minutes.
Wow. Yeah, say goodbye to those navigation rooms, Samus. You won't see those again until Metroid Fusion. Come on, we can do this. We can get to the ending. But why all this effort for a helmet? Like, the whole point of the ending is that Samus is trying to let go of Adam. And she said she swore she wouldn't grieve his death, but despite that, she needs, like, the helmet. Why? Like, seriously, why the fuck does she need the helmet? I don't get it.
Sorry for keeping you waiting, Adam.
Wait.
Let's go home.
Samus, you know you're talking to an inanimate object, right? I know people do this thing where they go to a graveyard. If they have a loved one dead and buried, they'll talk to the gravestone. That's one thing. You're talking to something that you can kind of take with you and hold and hug and all that shit and talk to it like it's actually Adam's head. This is straight out of Ed, Edd n Eddy. What's that, Plank? You've just got the helmet sitting there, just staring at you. Wow. So to the very end, she couldn't let Adam go. She didn't refer to him in this kind of endearing manner in Fusion. I mean, she referred to him with respect, but not like, I need to have this helmet because my memories aren't enough.
Perfect. Congratulations.
Thank you for the congratulations, Jessica Martin. Yeah, and again, Jessica Martin, I have no problem with her being the voice of Samus as long as Yoshio Sakamoto is not her voice director. It doesn't work the way it does in Japan to just speak monotonously and... Anyways, beating the game unlocks theater mode, as you may know, but fully beating the game gives you all of the different clips. That includes the post-credits sequence here. The fight against Phantoon, Samus snuggling the fucking helmet, and it's even got an image gallery of some pretty interesting artwork. I'm not going to go through all of it, but I suppose I'll go through like the main characters and shit like that. Yeah, proof in concept right now that this should have been made into an anime, because the character models, like, that profile looks a lot better in hand-drawn Japanese anime style artwork than it does on screen, but whatever. And here we have Adam. He's got the typical badass haircut underneath that fucking hat. Wow. Wow, Anthony. That looks almost like blackface. It's really close to being kind of offensive. Like the enormous fucking lips. And wait a minute. What the fuck is this? That's Anthony compared to Samus. I know that's Samus when she was younger, but Samus is supposed to be 6'3". So, unless Anthony is 7'5", and every male is 7'5", because they're all, you know, relatively similar. Anthony's easily the tallest of them, but he's not that much taller than the other men. So you're telling me that either every single one of these men is above 7 feet, or the more logical solution is that every woman in this fucking game is diminutive as all get out. And, I guess this is Ian. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, this is definitely Lyle. He's dead. Who gives a shit? Maurice, we barely knew ya. James Pierce. What is it about that facial hair that says, I am secretly going to kill a couple of people who don't matter to the plot? The deleter plot went absolutely fucking nowhere. And I mean, at the very least, if you're gonna use a cliche fucking, you're getting too close, Samus, like, you know too much, we're gonna have to kill you, Samus. Like, have a face-off where, you know, you do the unmasking. The game has no unmasking. It takes conjecture to let you know that James is the fucking deleter. Yeah, he's suspicious if I ever fucking saw it. Oh god, the nerdy glasses. You're definitely KG. All 2 lines of dialogue. No attempt whatsoever to flesh out any of these secondary characters. None whatsoever. Introduced purely to be killed, to try and add drama, but, you know, it's like a horror movie that is so bad that we end up rooting for the fucking killer to just kill all of these people, because they mean nothing. Absolutely nothing whatsoever. And KG, I know a lot of people seem to, like, harbor the suspicion that, you know, maybe he's the deleter. He's not. And I know the status screen where you can look up all of the characters and see what their status is. KG's actually shows up as still alive, but the reason is because when KG was killed by James, it kind of went into game omniscient mode, and you didn't know, like, who was killed. But yeah, there's no corpse of KG. His ass was smoked, literally, when James shot his ass with the freeze gun and then kicked his body into the lava in the pyrosphere. Sorry, boy, you're gonna have a closed casket funeral. Madeline Bergman got a serious case of the Ronald McDonald's or April O'Neil's or something. I mean, and the artwork actually shows these characters with, you know, character developing expressions on their faces, you know, but again, the fucking heels. Too bad every woman in this game, and that even includes this psychotic bitch, Melissa, every fucking woman's got fucking heels on, and even then they're diminutive as fuck. Nice red nose you got there. Huh, I guess they went through multiple different designs for her hairpin. And I guess they kind of settled on the one that looked like the Metroid nuclei. Oh yes, Colonel McDouche, Weasel McDouche, top general in the Galactic Federation. So evil that he's ripped his corny villain mustache off, twirling it so much. I know a lot of people have made that joke, but oh yes, we've got the scientist who adjusts his glasses. And you know, if you've ever seen an anime where somebody's suspicious, they always adjust their glasses before doing it. Oh, fuck this game. And then you've got all the different enemy designs. We've got the puffers, we've got the waivers, we've got the Venus flytraps, side hoppers, key hunters, Skullteras, these guys who were significant for all of one sector. What the fuck is that? I guess this is one of those, like, aerial laser enemies. The Volfons, like, the only decent enemy design that they came exclusive to this game. I actually really like the Volfons. And then we've got the Shoe Puffs. Who cares? The Fire Gamers. Why they went through multiple designs for something as simplistic as the Fire Gamers, I don't know. Whatever. The Lava Men, who were actually in Super Metroid, and it's like the biggest insult in the world for me to say that the Lava Men in Super Metroid looked more detailed than they do in this game. Wow. The Bottle Ship. You abbreviate the game, it spells M-O-M. You put the M in front of other, it spells mother. The baby's bottle, babies cry. Okay, we get it, game. Heed the advice of Anthony Higgs. I gotta teach you a lesson about subtlety. And we've got all the area designs. I'm really not going to go through all of this, but the area designs actually look like, especially this here, this design of the biosphere, it very colorful. You got the sunrise in the background. It looks pretty decent. I mean, we've got the regular Griptians that roll up into a ball. We've got the mighty Griptians that replace the Griptians. The fucking, whatever the chameleon enemies are called. Ultimate Warrior, I will destroy you, Hulk Hogan! And these guys, the Ridogian, which, as I said, you know, you could have built that up as a more formidable enemy and had that tie into the Ian flashback. As it is, the flashback with Ian served no purpose but to just fill up time. The line, Adam, you have to trust me, just give me a chance, that gets echoed, but, you know, never really resolved, because Samus does nothing in this game. She kills the Metroid Queen, which, okay, would have killed a whole bunch of people, but if this fucking bottle ship had actually gotten into Galactic Federation territory, they would have just nuked the shit. And then we've got the fucking Brugmass, aka generic Nintendo eye monster number 9001. We've got the Groganches. I know I said Groganches. Groganch, Grow, Branch, whatever. You've got the Foon and the other one that's not the Foon without the eyes. Fiery Jeff! Like, look at this. It's a bunch of fucking tentacles and then a pig snout for a head. A boar's head. That's all. I mean, you've got the power loader that the deleter is piloting, but realistically, it especially when you've got the chopper, it looks like you're fighting farm equipment, to be honest. Construction/farming equipment. The Vorash, the lava fish, the only enemy that was really built up, besides Ridley, but Nightmare, that awesome build-up from Fusion. All that for the only boss that you actually rematch in this game. I find that to be a fucking slap in the face to Ridley. Speaking of Ridley, first off, we got various designs for the power suit. I wanted to go with a more sleek look to it, which, you know, I respect that. Mother Brain, which, I'm sorry, Mother Brain, your pelvis looks like a giant ass. Just saying, you look kind of ridiculous. The Dysbrachians, the MB summons. It's me, little birdie! I swear to God, I need to be the honeycomb mascot! Introducing a Ridley evolutionary line a la Pokemon. I'm not sure I get it, but I got bigger, Sammy! I'm sorry, that proportion is completely out of control. The mystery creature is quite a bit bigger than Samus. Sorry to tell you. And then there is the shell that he shed. And the final product, Ridley himself. Jesus, he's got like a fucking 12-pack going on. Ridley is really goddamn bulky in this game. I don't mind the purple coloring, but he's huge. And you know, for him to just sit there roaring at Samus, that shows nothing of the tactician that Ridley has always been. And there's your final product. He's been Metroidified. That explains his existence in Fusion as if you needed an explanation. And this right here, if you were going to flash back to anything, you should have legitimately flashed back to her losing everything at the hands of Ridley. Seriously. Here's Samus in modern day. This is young trainee Samus. Again, I don't feel the latex Zero suit. This is the ending sequence of her clutching the fucking helmet for whatever reason. Phantoon. And I'll be damned, this actually looks pretty menacing. You've got Phantoon's actual body as the head. You've got his little mini hands. And it forms some kind of a shadowy big body. Phantoon looks pretty cool. Again, though, why is he in this game? Beyond nostalgia. And holy shit, they didn't even come up with a concept of Sector Zero. They knew right out the gate that they were going to block access to this fucking area. Wow. Yeah, let's not show them what the inside looks like. Whatever. Got Metroids. Got the arena with the Metroid Queen. Speaking of the Metroid Queen, I guess when she hatches Metroid eggs, she kind of like keeps them on her back like a kangaroo keeping its child in its pouch or something like that. The Metroid Queen is okay. I can't help but feel that it, Nightmare, and Phantoon were thrown in due to lack of boss creativity. And let me tell you something. When you can create a pile of rocks and make it into an actually ingeniously designed boss, that being Thardus, that's good boss design. Retro was able to do that. Where the fuck was your boss design and direction in this game? It was for the fucking generic Nintendo iMonster, the Fiery Jeff. You made the Foon and the other one into a fucking boss fight, I guess. You've got the Power Loader. You've got the Vorash, which is a lava fish. I mean, you really don't have a whole lot of boss direction. No real build-up. Whatever, guys. I have rambled on this for far too long. Thank you for sticking with the last 15 parts. I'm hoping that this render and this recording does not blow up my piece of shit laptop. I wanted to, you know, even though I still gotta wait a bit on the PC that died to come back in after the warranty, the folks over at HP take care of it. I do want to kind of say thank you to all of you guys who have been really surprisingly very positive about the situation with the computer. The generosity that so many of you shown, as those who've donated, those who haven't, just showing their thanks and their support and their well wishes to the situation. I thank all of you. And this 15 video series that many of you have asked for, this was all for you. So, thank you guys. This is going to be Metroid Monday, the beginning of Metroid Monday. And we're going to see what happens next time. Next mission. So on that note, have a fantastic day, everybody. And thank you for bearing with me in this absolute piece of shit game. That is all.